Be making as part of the Spam series, sweet and sour Spam. And it calls for 1 cup of pineapple chunks or tidbits, and I just grabbed a can of Dole pineapple chunks. It comes out to more like 1.5 cups, but we like pineapple, so I'm going to go ahead and use the whole thing. Pineapple juice. It calls for 2 bell peppers. I'm not huge on bell peppers, so I only bought 1. A chopped up white onion. 3 tablespoons cornstarch, and that's going to be a thickening agent for the sauce that goes on it. 6 tablespoons of water, which is just a little under 1/2 cup of water. 1/2 cup of brown sugar. 1 can of Spam that's been chunked. You can't see it, but in that little bowl there's 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, and there's 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Is to stir fry the peppers, onions, and Spam in oil. I prefer to use Pam instead of oil. I don't see any reason to add extra fat to it if it doesn't really need it. So spray the bottom liberally. And I preheated the skillet. Even though it doesn't sound like it, because normally, I guess onions, when you would toss them in, they would make some noise. So 1 onion, 1 bell pepper, and the can of Spam. And we're going to let that cook through until it's hot. It's probably going to take about 5 minutes, I'm guessing. So rather than have you guys sit and look at this for 5 minutes, I'm going to let it cook and I'll come back in a couple of minutes. Okay, I did end up adding some oil to the vegetables and the Spam because it wasn't frying quick enough. So now it's been about 5 minutes. It's still cooking. The next step is, I don't want to move the camera here. It says, in a saucepan, combine oil, pineapple juice, and sugar. So I'm kind of doing it off to the side here. That was the sound of the pineapple juice. Here's the brown sugar. And I don't think I'm going to add more oil to it since I did end up adding it to the meat and vegetables. So this is what the brown sugar and pineapple juice look like together. I'm going to put that on the stove on medium to medium-high heat. Bring up the temperature a bit. And it says to mix together the cornstarch, the soy sauce, the vinegar, and the water. I'm doing that over here on the side. You know what it looks like to pour those things together. I don't know if I know most of you probably know this, but there must be some new cooks out there. That I got interrupted. I was saying that there might be some new cooks out there that don't know some of the properties of cornstarch. And one thing you can do is mix it with a liquid. And when you add it to a hot liquid, it ends up thickening up a sauce. So if you ever make like a gravy that's too thin, mix a little cornstarch and water together, make a little slurry, and then stir it into the gravy that you have, and it'll thicken it right up in just a couple of minutes. So we're at the point now I'm going to go add this, the vinegar, soy sauce, water, and cornstarch to the juice, and I'll be back in just a second to add it to the meat and vegetable mixture and the pineapple, and we'll be just about finished. Okay, as far as this being a sweet and sour Spam, the color to me doesn't really look like a typical sweet and sour. It's usually a reddish orange. And this almost looks like coffee with cream in it. It's that kind of coloring. But who knows how it'll taste, since it does have quite a bit of pineapple juice in it. So anyway, I need to go put this back on the stove for a few minutes until it thickens. The cornstarch thickens things up really nicely. This was maybe 2 to 3 minutes on a medium to medium-high heat, and it made it into a nice sweet and sour glaze. It looks like it's going to be really good. So the next step is to pour the sauce down over the meat and vegetable mixture. Sorry about the noise in the background. I've got some of the leftover rice that I didn't use last night in the Spam fried rice heating up in the microwave to serve alongside of this. And you can see it's still thickening even a little bit more now. And I'm adding the pineapple. I don't know about you, but when I cook, I prefer to use canned pineapple. I don't know why. I always keep a regular pineapple in the house. We usually have 1 or 2 cut up in the fridge. It's very much a staple at our house. But for cooking, I don't know. There's something about canned pineapple that I prefer, and I can't put my finger on it, but that's how I like it. That's how I do it, I guess. So this is the sweet and sour Spam. I'm going to let it heat for another minute or so to bring the pineapple up to the temperature of the rest of the dish, and I'll serve it over rice in just a moment. Sour Spam looks like, and I will let you know what we think of it over in the sidebar. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.